My name is Anders Hoffman. I am 30 years old, and even though I hate labels, I'll probably consider myself an entrepreneur that loves to push things. I went to high school because that was what you had to do if you wanted to become a sports journalist, which I thought was what I wanted to do at the time. But working as an intern within a sports media during those years, I realized it was more a hobby of mine than it was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Then I was left with not knowing what I should do until I heard about this prestigious program at Copenhagen Business School. And for me, that was a safe bet. Nobody had any questions about whether that was the right way to go. And for me, it was also a way of keeping my options open for later in figuring out what I really wanted to do. I think what happened was that I tried to be a consultant. I figured out what that meant. I probably knew all the way that that wasn't my passion. What I really wanted to do was to start my own business. But I hadn't really given myself the time to figure out what it was that I wanted to do. So it wasn't until the end of my master's degree that I was on a road trip in the US and sat down with myself and figured out what it was I really wanted to do. After that, I came home, finished my master's degree, quit my job as a full-time consultant, and then started my own business that eventually became Project Iceman. The purpose of Project Iceman was to show that limitations are perceptions of what we can achieve by completing the first ever long-distance triathlon in Antarctica. People said that I couldn't swim in ice water, you couldn't bike in Antarctica, that I wasn't a professional athlete. And all of these perceptions people put upon me on whether it was possible or not. I think that made me go back to my teenage years in my early 20s, where a lot of people also told me what you should and should not do. I realized that the people telling me this wasn't possible hadn't been ice swimming before. They hadn't been to Antarctica themselves. They hadn't completed even a regular triathlon. So why would they be able to tell me whether this was possible or not? And that was when I realized that often in today's world, people will tell you what you can do and what you can't do without actually having the foundation of knowing what is possible. I think we give too much emphasis to worst case scenarios and why it wouldn't work out, instead of looking at, what if it worked out? What if this was the right thing for you to do? And there's only one way of finding that out, and that's trying new things. So make that bet on yourself and dare to go in a new direction if that's the right thing for you.